if you have a tensor and if you send it M1 forms and n vectors, then you get a scalar. So I call this one a tensor of rank m comma n or m plus n. I call this a tensor of rank m comma n or m plus n. And then I said the components of the tensor in some basis are denoted by T, and I wrote some indices in the subscripts and superscripts, and I wrote here that I1, I2, etc. and what did I write? IM? N? It should be M. So J1, J2, etc. Jn. So someone has actually tried to ask a question: if one form goes, this is a vector. The components of a vector should be superscripts. Okay, so if one form goes and 0 vectors go, that means n will be 0. So it should be only one index on the top. So that's how they have told me that this is not correct, which is true. So this is in some sense is a correction to the components notation that I wrote earlier. The subscript will run on the set of vectors and superscripts will run on the set of one.
Regarding the components of a vector, you wrote the superscript.
Yeah. So the point is, if components of a vector are written as Tj, correct? Now, if one form is input, no vectors are there, then this will be a vector. So its component should be written as Ti1. These are not there, these are all not. If one form is an input and 0 vectors, then this is a vector. That is 1 comma 0 is a vector. So it should be in the superscript. 0 comma 1 is a one form, so then it will be in the subscript. 0 comma 1 is a 1. Okay, so this is the correction.
In other words, you can say that the vector indices depends on the number of one forms. Contrary indices depends on the number of one forms.
Number of one forms that go in here. Actually, the indices, total number of indices is equal to the rank of the tensor, both superscripts and subscripts together. Okay. That is why in the G metric tensor we had G superscript alpha beta when two one forms are going, and G subscript of alpha beta when two vectors are going. You remember this? G alpha beta is equal to G of E alpha Et. Whereas G alpha beta is equal to G of E alpha Et. So when two one forms are going, then you have superscripts. When two vectors are going, then we have subscripts. So this is a general notation.